This particular video is only for approved ambassadors who would like to use a cell phone to edit their chapters and or add additional events. In this particular image, you can see if you've gone inside the chapter and you clicked on their events, you can see the different upcoming events that are taking place. And if you click on one of them, you can see what the actual chapter looks like with the featured speakers and any of the other pertinent information for that day of the month. These images that you're looking at, if you look at the bottom, on the right-hand side, you'll see an envelope that says expecting. So if you look over to the left-hand side, you see a bunch of faces with the buttons that say check in. The cool thing about that, these are already pre-existing members for that chapter. Either they can check themselves in because they downloaded the app and it's on their cell phone, or somebody at registration can actually do it for them if they don't have the app downloaded or they don't have a smartphone or something's malfunctioning or whatever. It can all be done on a laptop or, in this case, on a cell phone. And so as Libby shows up, they can just click the check-in button and they're going to appear as a member who has checked in for the day. So on this side, the people that have checked in, those are the ones that are pre-existing members. You can see the list of people that have already checked in. That allows you to see who's there. It allows the members to see who are there. And later on, when they visit back, they can see who was there. So it's just really an important feature to be taken advantage of. But if you look at the top of the page, you can see the button that says Add Guests, both sides. All the people that you see on the right-hand side, those are people that just showed up that particular day, and they were added in as new guests. The ambassador, who is approved, has access to adding brand new members to the chapter as they come in the door. This is what it looks like. There's two options. If somebody has not accepted an invite into Successful Thinkers Network, they're not a member of Successful Thinkers Network. Even if they've been coming to Successful Thinkers for years, this new site, you have to be invited in and you have to accept that invite in order to get into the system. We can see there's two options. The first one says, yes, the guest is visiting from another chapter. That would mean that they're actually a member, but they haven't chosen that chapter as their home chapter. So if they clicked on that, you're just going to find, it'll tell you what to do and you'll find them and you actually check them in as a visiting guest for Successful Thinkers Network. The button that says, no, the guest is new to Successful Thinkers Network, this is really important. If they're not in the system, you're going to click that button. And then you look on the right-hand side, this is the next screen that appears. It says, the guest found us through Meetup or Facebook or LinkedIn or Successful Thinkers website or whatever. So we're going to assume the guest was invited by another member. When you understand the power of what I'm about to show you, you're going to get excited. The only people that are going to see this information once you click done, you go through the process and click done, is going to be the person that invited them and the ambassador who has access and the ability to accept somebody else's invite is going to be able to see their phone number and their email address and everything. The reason I share this with you is because it gives you the ability to re-invite them next week or the week after that or whenever your next event is taking place. Because now you have access to their phone number and their email to send them a reminder and also thank them for coming. The next screen says, who invited them? Gary sends you to an event in New York. What we're going to do next is we're going to choose from a list of names who the real person was that invited you to that event in New York. And so you start to type in Gary's name. By the way, remember that a lot of times names are case sensitive, so you got to type the capital letter for the first name to make sure it works. And so all of a sudden, Gary's image is going to show up, and you'll be able to click on Gary. Once you click on Gary, it takes you to another screen. You can see that Gary's name is now in the system as the person inviting that guest into Successful Thinkers and to the actual chapter event in New York. Once they click done, that invite has gone out to that person via email. They can accept it right there on their cell phone or when they get home. But at the same time, Gary actually got credit for inviting that guest. There's a lot of good reasons for getting credit for bringing members in. You want to find out what those reasons are because it's a way to get elevated in our business directory. It's a way to get access to more information about business people around you and so on and so forth. So we'll save that for another day. The image that you're looking at is literally a list of all the members that have actually been invited that day into the system at that particular event, no matter where it was in the world. And this is going to be really helpful information for the other attendees that have picked that, as their chapter and so forth. So when it comes to editing your chapter, someone from corporate must create your original event, regardless if the information is wrong or right, because you can go back in and adjust it to be correct. In this particular image, what we're showing you is a screenshot from an actual computer. And the reason for this is because in order to get all the details taken care of, you have to do this on the computer. Yes, you'll be able to edit the upcoming events and add speakers and so on and so forth on your cell phone later. But the address and all the other pertinent information that needs to be handled is actually done on a computer. And plus it's easier too, by the way. So you're going to click the edit button where you see the arrow pointing to right now, and then it takes you to this screenshot. And these are all boxes that you'll fill in. They may have been filled in already by corporate, but they might be wrong, other than who the lead ambassador is, of course. So with that said, you're going to make sure that the location is correct, the address correct. You'll see that there's a button called meeting frequency. Some events meet every week, some meet bi-weekly, some meet once a month. Bottom line is, we know for a fact the events that meet weekly have the most success, they have the greatest growth, and obviously the most number of potential prospects for people to meet on a regular basis. So obviously we try to encourage weekly events. But when you click on that button called meeting frequency, you'll see all kinds of different options that are available to you depending on the frequency of your events. The meeting day, you'll pick whatever day of the week it is just by clicking on that button. And the meeting time, of course, the restaurant. As you can see in this image, it says meeting establishment logo. So we grabbed an image of the restaurant. You can do an image of their logo, whatever, and put it in there so it's represented on the computer as well as on the cell phone app when people are looking up the chapter events that are going on. The greeting is generally put in by the corporation. So we don't really want to deviate from the greeting because that greeting is approved information. But as you can see, all the other arrows are pointing to Facebook, Meetup, LinkedIn, YouTube. Those links are to the actual link for, like, for example, Facebook to that particular chapter. So you can go to that link and join that chapter, and your member base can do the same thing. You want to encourage them to do that, by the way. Same thing with Meetup. If you have a Meetup page, you want them to join that as well, because this gives you multiple advantages where the people can see that there's more people that are part of this particular chapter on different social media sites that other people frequent that may not have become a member of Successful Thinkers just yet. LinkedIn, and then YouTube page. The reason for that is because we know that having a short video, 2 or 3 minute video, 4 minute max of an event, encourages other people to come because they can see that the fun and the activity and that this is a real deal and that they need to experience the whole process of going to Successful Thinkers chapters. As I said, once an approved ambassador has put all the pertinent information in from their computer, a cell phone can be used for scheduling events and the speaker on the fly, as far out in the future as they really would like to do. In this image, basically, we're trying to show you is they clicked on the events. You can see the actual chapter event dates. But in the upper right-hand corner, you see the plus sign. That's going to become really important to you because you click on that, and it's going to take you to this page on your cell phone. And you can see all the pertinent information is already in there, the address, the restaurant, the day of the week, and all that kind of information. You, at this point now, can choose who the speaker is for the next event, or as far as you want to go, by the way. With this screenshot, you can now see on the left-hand side the different fields that are available on the fly that you can do on your cell phone, which it makes it really easy for you to schedule out far enough in advance where you don't have to worry and you don't have to forget, and you don't have to be in front of your own computer from there forward if you don't want to. At this point, in this particular image, you can choose a speaker. If you know who your speaker is already, you can just click that button and you see on the right-hand side, you can start typing in their name. Again, you want to make sure that you understand that it's case sensitive, so capital B for Bonnie. And then her image will come up. You know that's her. The next screen, you can see the agenda box. If you didn't fill that out, the arrow's pointing to the word agenda on the right-hand side, and it says to be announced. That's because no one filled any information out. If you type in the information that you want there, you'll see what it's going to look like once you click done. And then you go to the next column. If you look on the left-hand side, it says date. It's actually date and time. And this is really important because the date's going to change as you pick a new date in the future, obviously. And if you schedule them out way out in advance, the date's going to change ongoing. Also the time. So both those features are available to adjust when you put your cursor in that box that says the date. So once you've adjusted all the times and put the proper date in and everything, you can see what it's going to look like with the specific speaker that's being featured for that particular day of the event.